Okay, in this video, we'll start looking at solving some simple quadratic equations. We just want to start with this one because sometimes learning high-powered tools weirdly makes us forget the easy stuff, so we'll make sure we tackle that first in this video. So you see how there's only one x term. The square isn't really a big deal when that's the case. Kill the 10 by adding 10 to both sides. Then the opposite of squaring is square rooting, but make sure we take both positive and negative square roots, because negative numbers also square to hit a positive target. Okay, so don't forget the easy stuff, but the other takeaway from this first example is don't be surprised if equations with x squared in them have two answers. More on that in a moment. So this one's slightly different. There are now two different terms that involve x and they cannot mix. It may be tempting then to divide everything by x like this. That would cancel a lot of stuff and reduce it to a linear equation. But why that's generally not a safe move is that you're not sure whether or not x could be 0. And if it happens to be 0, then dividing it would be illegal and would actually change some things that are a little bit annoying. Okay, so what we should be thinking to do instead is to factorize. Hopefully you can see that 3 goes into both 3 and 12. And as we've seen, there is a common x in both of those terms, so we can pull out 3x in total. Then to arrive at 3x squared, we just need to multiply one more copy of x. To arrive at 12x, we need to multiply 3x by 4. So that factorized guy now equals 0. And here's why pretty much every quadratic should be first made to have 0 on one side. The idea here is that if two numbers multiply and the answer is 0, then one of them must be 0. Could be the other one as well. Could even be both, but it doesn't have to be. We have options. All right, either one could be 0, and when you multiply, the answer is still 0. So that's actually what we have here. When you factorize, you're expressing that left-hand side as two things multiplied together with an answer of 0, meaning that either 3x is 0 or x plus 4 is 0. If 3x is 0, then of course x must be 0. If x plus 4 is 0, you find x must be negative 4. So we'll say again, quadratic equations can have up to two answers, so get used to that. And a purist would say that quadratic equations have to have two answers, but that comes with two things in fine print. One is that we allow complex numbers, so numbers that live outside the number line. And the other is that when we say two answers, they could both be the same number, which I know would be like cheating, but it's actually true and very useful in a lot of higher maths situations. But anyway, that's a start to some simple quadratic equations. In the next video, we'll look at some harder cases, so see you then.